Welcome to episode 202 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent and Jason here as always, and this is the second to the last episode of the year 2018.
Second to the last.
Yeah, we are coming up just a few days before Christmas, and nothing screams Christmas more than Tracii Guns and Phil Lewis.
That's what I think when I think Christmas.
Yeah. Actually, I don't really know. That just sounded cool to say.
It really jingles my bells.
There you go. Anyway, Tracii Guns and Phil Lewis are on this podcast, this episode.
Definitely.
Very glad about that. We've got a good, very cool interview with them coming up here in just a bit. Before we get to that, we are sponsored by DEB Concerts, who happen to be the people who brought us LA Guns.
That's right.
Over the last year and a half, 2 years, besides LA Guns, they've brought, let's see here, Steel Art, Striper, Saxon. Well, Saxon's coming. Sorry.
Yes.
Dawkins a couple times, Tom Kiefer a couple times, Jack Russell's Great White, Lita Ford, Warrant, Firehouse, Winger. A very long list. We try to get out there to almost every one of these.
That's right.
Sebastian Bach recently as well. But coming up here in 2019, February 13th, like I mentioned, Saxon, they are returning to Tulsa. They were here last spring, but they played the big-ass arena BOK Center with Judas Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're headlining on their own at the Ideal Ballroom.
Yes, they are.
And it will be glorious.
Super glorious.
Because their album, Thunderbolt, is glorious, just like the rest of their career, which you'll hear more about that album next week.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes, you will. I'm pretty sure.
There's a good chance.
A good chance.
On episode 203.
Nice.
The best of 2018. But
gotcha.
Anyway, DEB Concerts, based out of Tulsa, bring Saxon and all these other bands I mentioned to the Ideal Ballroom.
They're your one-stop shop for all your melodic hard rock needs.
That's a great point. That's a good way to put it.
Thank you.
They also have t-shirts for sale, so if you're at any of these shows, hit them up. Or hit them up on their Facebook page, Streets Gone Wild. You can buy one there. You can also just follow that page to get all the information when they announce upcoming shows. Eddie Trunk is out there hosting these shows. The IDL puts all of them on. It's just a great combo package of kick-ass rock and roll.
Damn right it is.
Yeah. And we're very happy to be a part of it all. So thank you to DB Concerts for sponsoring us every single week.
Yes.
All right, so I guess just jumping right in, we're just going to talk about this show.
Yeah.
But, well, let's play some music before we do. It'll lead into the first band and all that stuff. We're going to play this band ODD out of Atlanta, and this song is called Label Killer.
Sinking deeper and deeper.
Label Killer from ODD, a 3-piece out of Atlanta, and they were actually doing 4 or 5 shows at the end of LA Guns tour here, and one of them, of course, was the one in Tulsa that we went to.
Yes.
That song, all these guys' songs are cool, you know, it's melodic rock feel, but it's a little bit heavier than your typical melodic rock, but it kind of borders the line of hard rock and metal at different points. The vocals could go either way.
Yeah.
Guitars are chunky, riffy, melodic. Obviously, there's a Zakk Wylde influence in there.
Yeah.
And I know you said at the show they did a cover of
Zakk
Wylde classic.
No More Tears.
Which is obviously an Ozzy classic, but
Yes.
Zakk Wylde classic riff.
And they did a great job of it. It was on point, you know, the guitars were, you know, you had that classic slide guitar that was in there. Yeah, it was a great highlight of their set.
Okay.
And I enjoyed seeing this band.
Yeah. I didn't.
You got there in the middle of them. I saw all of it.
Yeah. I got there right at the end, so I didn't really get to see
okay.
it. But
Gotcha. Well, I dug them. But they're great.
yeah.
And you
cool.
know, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I've listened to their EP. It's great. You can check it out on Spotify.
Yeah, definitely. And there's just 3 of them, you know, so that's a power trio type kind of thing.
Which isn't real common in this style of music.
Yeah, true. They packed quite a wallop, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Look them up. That's O.D.D. I wonder if any idiot has ever walked up to him and said, "You down with ODD?"
Oh,
yeah, you know me.
Fuck, you know it.
If they haven't, I guess I'm the first idiot to do it.
Well, I'm sure you're not, and you're not an idiot. Be positive, Trent.
Okay, I will.
Gosh darn it!
Finally got to make
People
United
like
by
you.
Nature reference on here.
You've been waiting.
And you got to make a
Stuart Smalley reference.
Yeah, Stuart Smalley reference.
Why not?
Well, that show also featured our good friends in Grind.
Yes.
Very glad to see them get on one of these shows out here at the Ideal Ballroom. And the thing is, the Ideal Ballroom, the sound's always great. You know, thanks to the crew that got there. You know, Billy, our buddy Billy, runs sound a lot. I don't think he did it this show, but Grind, it's just, we've seen him and talked about him a multitude of times. And they always put on a great live show. But this literally might be one of the best time I've ever seen them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's just something about it. They just filled up that room with their sound. And their sound is like, it sounds so, to me, it sounds so current and relevant, but it fits perfectly with LA Guns and Junkyard.
Yeah, well, that's what you want, right?
Yeah,
you want to be able to
cross
cover
those barriers, you know.
Yeah, you want to be able to cover all your bases in your sound, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they've got a following. That's important. I mean, that's obvious, you know. And that following was there, and it was nice to see everybody getting into them, you know, and pushing up front and singing the words. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Grind. You know, yeah, like you said, we've talked about them, you know, a million times, and we always will. They're awesome. Yeah,
and at that show, actually, I believe Lynn Hernandez announced that they were the first band officially announced for Rocklahoma.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, see, I did not know that.
Yeah, it happened, I guess, right, you know, because I got there I showed up in the second or third song, and I guess that it was announced right before they went on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder how they could get, I mean, I don't know.
Well, because should have mentioned when we mentioned DEB Concerts, our sponsor.
Yeah.
That Doug Burgess is running the D&B processing stage out at Rocklahoma.
Gotcha.
And Grind is the first band that he's released as.
Wow, that's cool.
As part of his lineup.
I see.
But it's not, you know, been released as far as, you know, a date or anything. Just saying Grind is definitely on Rocklahoma.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can't wait to see him out there doing that.
Yeah, they definitely deserve that. I know they've played out there before, but this will be their first time playing inside the fences on one of the 3 big stages. So
how cool is that?
Yeah, that is quite awesome. I'm sure you'll hear more about that from us once the lineup is officially dropped.
I'm pretty sure you will.
Yeah. But then after Grind, we had Junkyard.
Okay.
And do we want to go into this now, or do we want to wait until we have that episode?
I want to wait till we have that episode.
Okay.
I think that would probably be the smart thing to do.
Make more sense? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, just a quick summation. You know, we talked for weeks and weeks about how It was a bucket list band for both of us, and the band did not let us down.
Oh, no, they were great.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the headliner of the night, LA Guns. And I've actually said this before, growing up, we were entrenched in this genre of music.
Yes.
It's the first kind of music we latched onto in the late 80s. And LA Guns is one of those bands I always knew and listened to their stuff, but I didn't love them and I didn't hate them. They were just kind of somewhere in between for me. I'd listen to them, but I wasn't diehard about it. But now over the last few years, and I'd seen Tracii Guns a bunch with his different versions, and they were always good, and I was always fascinated with it just because I love him as a guitarist. Thought he's underrated forever. But seeing him over the last couple years, like whenever they played earlier this year with him and Phil Lewis back together at the Ideal Ballroom, and then again this time, it's really just solidified to me that this band is just a fucking great band.
Yeah.
They're just, hard rock and roll. And he mentions in this interview, that they wanted to be like somewhere between Ozzy and Motley Crue. And that's something I never really even thought of. But when he says it, it makes perfect sense.
Makes sense. I see.
They're streamlined rock and roll, and the live setting is where these guys shine. Phil Lewis sounds as good as he ever did. And Tracii Guns, of course, is a freaking phenomenon, in my opinion.
Definitely.
And my favorite song of theirs is Over the Edge. And before that song, he plays his solo with the bow, a la In the Spirit of Jimmy Page.
There you go.
And I always love the fact that he doesn't overstate it. He doesn't sit there and do it for 8 minutes like a lot of guitarists would. He just does it for like a minute and a half or two and then goes into the fucking Over the Edge. And our buddy Scott Squires from Down for Five and Rocket Science was talking to me during the show, and he mentioned that that's also his favorite LA Guns song.
Really?
So thought I would throw
That's
that out there.
awesome.
Yeah.
You guys can bond over that.
Yeah.
You're over the edge, buddies.
We've already bonded over many other things.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Just letting you know.
I gotcha.
Like our love of Bo Nasty.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Actually, I've never talked to him about... Actually...
Okay, back to the LA Guns. Jesus, fuck. Okay. Come on.
But yeah, just a great show. They've got a great band with them. The lineup right now, Ace Von Johnson, Johnny Monaco. These guys are doing their thing and they're sounding fucking great. It's the two key, ingredients from the original lineup.
Of course.
With Tracii and Phil.
Yes.
Which might lead us into something here.
Okay.
We didn't really talk about it before. We're not going to get too much on this because what's it really matter? But, the news broke that the original drummer, Steve Riley, is putting together a lineup that is going to be playing the M3 Festival.
Yeah.
And it's him. He's obviously, the only original guy. And then it's going to be other guys that were a part of the band throughout the years at different points.
Well, was Kelly Nichols original? Because he's in it.
Okay.
And but whatever. Like you said, I don't want to touch on this very long. But it's happening. I think it would be better, like if they just named it something else. But they're gonna name. It's already on the goddamn M3 posters, LA Guns, and that's fucking lame.
Yeah, I should say.
Especially, he said that this is the only thing they're going to do. So he's just doing it to be a dick. I don't give a fuck, whatever.
Right.
And so, he knew it's going to say LA Guns on the fucking poster. And he's just doing it to piss him off. So whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it obviously should say Steve Riley's LA Guns. Similar to Jack Russell's band or Bobby Botzer's band he had, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because 80%, I don't have a problem with these like two great whites, whatever. If people don't get along, hey, you still get a chance to see both sides of the coin, playing the songs you like.
Yeah.
And that's the way it works with Great White, and that's the way it was with Queen's Rock for a while. Jeff Tate's still doing it under another name, but whatever. This.
So, yeah, it just...
But this is different, because there's probably a very small percentage of people that ever were like, I've got to go to fucking LA Guns to see Steve Riley.
No shit. Yeah.
No offense to him or any drummer out there, but, unless you're fucking Neil Peart or Mike Portnoy, or Tommy Lee, most people aren't in the fucking crowd to see you.
Yeah, you should call it like Pomona's Air Rifles or something.
There you go.
Pomona Air Rifles. I don't know.
But so like 80-90% of this crowd is going to show up to M3 having not read this news because they're not geeks like us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to sit there and wonder why the fuck Tracii Guns isn't on stage. And
Exactly.
Why doesn't this guy sound like Phil Lewis? Because it just says LA Guns and they didn't know all this shit's going on.
And exactly. And, not being geeks like us is okay. It's probably better. You guys out there probably have a life. But I'm just saying, we're geeks, so we know this. But it sucks for people because, they're gonna put down money for this, and it's, like I said, it's not gonna be LA Guns. It's gonna be Pomona air rifles. So I don't know. It's like whatever. We've already, I don't know, moving right along.
That's right, moving along. So do we have anything else we need to mention?
I don't think so.
On this very special Christmas episode?
Yeah, I think we just need to get into this interview. It's a great one.
It is. This is Tracii Guns and Phil Lewis of LA Guns. Reaching the end of the cycle here for the missing piece.
Yeah.
Like, how's the reaction been over the past year for the album?
It's been pretty phenomenal, actually. Eddie Trunk voted it the best album of the year, even though there was a band above us, the Struts, but that was from the album from the prior year.
But it was still his favorite record.
It was still his favorite, yeah. And he was still raving about it a year. But he said if he wasn't raving, it would have been his favorite. So yeah, critically, we were real happy with the reaction we got. Obviously, it didn't sell millions of copies like Cocked and Loaded or Hollywood Vampires, but that's not the point. That's not why we're doing it. We knew that. We knew that going in. What we have now is control. We didn't have control back then, Cocked and Loaded, Hollywood Vampires, but now Tracii and I, we can do exactly the kind of music that we always wanted to do, and not get bogged down by, you don't have a ballad, we don't hear a single. So we've been through that, and it's really liberating now. Even though we're not going to sell the kind of units that we used to, but we have this. Yeah. Oh, Tracii, I'm not going to hog this interview. Don't run away. Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, now that you've got some time into it, I mean, looking back on the record, I mean, you still, has it changed at all, or
Well, we've been so focused for the last 9 months on this new one, the Devil You Know, and we knew we got our work cut out making a record as good as The Missing Piece, but in our opinion, we've blown it out the water. It's a lot more direct. We had some wonderful musical interludes that Tracii had years to work on, that we put towards the end of the Missing Piece. But this new one, it's all like shit that we wrote specifically for this record. And it's a lot tighter.
Fair? More focused, yeah.
Focused.
It's real focused.
That's right.
More metal.
Yeah, very metal, yeah. Sabbath, but blacker. or purple, as he says.
It's just like Black Sabbath, only purple.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the right record for us to make right now. It's great, man. People will love it.
What's the status? Is everything completed and just?
We're mixing right now.
Oh, okay.
So
Artwork's done. Everything's done. It's, everything's recorded. It's just putting it together, mixing it. And
we've been playing a song called "The Devil You Know." This is also the title track. We've been playing it live.
Okay.
So you'll hear it tonight. So bring that thing.
Yeah, put a halfway quality version on YouTube for you.
Good song, good song.
Well, so you said writing-wise on The Missing Piece, was there a lot of collaboration, or was it just...
it's all collaboration.
Okay.
It's not like, well, here's my song, I want to see how you guys interpret, apart from Tracii, of course, he brings it in musically. But yeah, we all get involved in all the aspects.
I kind of have the luxury of being set up to practice and record everything while I'm practicing at home. So I can put these demos together. It's a lot different than it used to, like I can whip out a whole arrangement in like an hour, if it's coming. It's like, oh. And we had 2 weeks off in the beginning of this year, and we kind of had a deadline for the record, and it was like, a year away. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to write anything right now. We're still on tour for the Missing Piece, but we had this break, and everything came out in like 7 or 8 days. I had like 15 demos done, and then we started beating on those. And then
we did a little writing in Australia. Johnny and Tracii got together, and we wrote a couple of songs.
That's the opening track on the album.
Yeah, the opening track, Rage. That was written in Australia, and we were over there on tour recently. Even not even that long ago. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, that's
barely 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was just 7 months. Yeah, exactly 7 months ago we wrote that.
Yeah, so it's very fresh.
Everything's fresh.
As opposed to the Missing Piece, which is stuff that had been lying around for a while.
Yeah, gotcha. So the past, what's been about 2.5 years that you guys have been playing together again?
Yeah.
Like, has it been perfect, no bumps? I mean,
no, it's not been perfect. No, No, I'm just kidding. I'm being facetious. It's been great. It's been great. It's been so amazing. I really feel that it's kind of our responsibility to work together. When we came out with the self-titled album and Cocked and Loaded and Hollywood Vampires, we told people this is us, this is what we do, and for us to be like fucking around and not doing that is kind of disservice to our fans. So it is, I feel we're doing this for all the right reasons. And that's why it's doing gangbusters, because you can just hear it. It's real, and it's we're having fun. He makes me work hard. He makes me work really, really hard. I'm not a lazy person, but if it was my album, it'd sound like Tom Petty. Just because that's just the nature of my writing. He puts the flame on.
Yeah, the interesting thing about being in a band for 30 years, or sort of being in a band for 30 years, is the last 2.5 years have really been a family band, you know what I mean? With the exception of the stage right guitar. It's like, now we have 2 stage right guitarists. We have Adam and Ace. Ace is the permanent guy now, but everything's done with, everybody has the same enthusiasm. Everybody has the same kind of feeling and vibe, that this is a good place to be, this is a happy place, and we're really nice to each other. When I think back about the early days, we were great at pretending that we were in a family band, but it was, man.
You can see it in the pictures. You can see it in all the photos. We all look so grumpy. We all look. I know I was pissed off, because we were under so much pressure from the record company, management. I mean, we were
lazy members in the band. We had.
You look at our pictures now. We're all smiling, genuine smile.
Well, after all these years, to be at that place, that's got to be pretty rewarding.
Yeah, no, definitely. You do have a sense of accomplishment. Yeah,
that's the payoff, I think.
To be paying your bills with rock
being happy,
money,
like getting to a place where it's like, this is. Yeah. I always thought a band should be like this. It just took a long time to get it there. Right. It's cool, yeah.
So I guess that makes it kind of a thing where there's no end in sight, right? Because you guys are having fun.
No, we just keep doing it until it's over, man. It's what we do, and the interesting thing for me was when we first got back together at a rehearsal for something else before we went back together. The sound that we make together, just him singing and me playing, it's pretty fucking unique. Like whoa, nothing else sounds like this. You know what I mean? And that was kind of really sold it back to myself. It's like I get it. I get what this band is. What that sound is. Because I never really paid attention. When I was younger, I was just like, oh yeah, Benelli Guns, we write this cool fucking weird rock. We don't know if it's pop, we don't know if it's metal, because we're confused all the time, But like
when Tracii writes, he can hear my voice.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. We've always had that, you know. Even like from the earliest, you know, like when I interpreted Sex Action, it was something else before I joined, and it was just like from that point on, we knew the sound that we could make together. Pretty much. One more reason.
It's the same thing as when Jimmy Page and Robert Plant heard the Small Faces do "You Need Lovin'." That's what we sound like, except it was us.
Yeah, it's true. It's pretty about right. Actually, Steve Marriott joined up with Jimmy Page. That's kind of what LA Guns would sound like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I don't sound like Robert Plant. I don't pretend to. I don't try to. It's not my thing. I don't want to. I don't want to sound like.
Well, oddly enough, you know, he wanted to be Steve Marriott.
Yeah.
But you sing more like Marriott, and you sing like Marriott.
Marriott is my guy. You know,
Yeah.
Rodgers, Steve Marriott are my two. Like, you know.
Rod Stewart too. Right?
Yeah, of course, Rod Stewart. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because the music can be anything, really. You know, but in a rock band, you know, against all my better judgment, in a rock band, the vocal and the lyrics are what people are first attracted to. I mean, the rhythm, of course, but...
No, setting yourself short. Good riff, man. The opening riff of the song.
But you can be Eddie Van Halen, and if you don't have the right guy singing, nobody cares about the riff.
Agreed.
You know, so that voice identifies a band. You know what I mean? It's if Freddie Mercury goes out and does a solo song, you still go, oh, that's Queen. You know what I mean? And then someone has to tell you, oh, it's not Queen. It's he's doing his thing. You know, it's important. With us, though, we do have the luxury of that. The music is you know, unique enough. You know, as soon as he sings on it, it's like, well, that's LA Guns. It's very apparent, you know. And I never recognized that until a few years ago. When I hear it, I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. You know, like I get it.
I gotta say something. You know, Tracii and I, we had a bit of a sabbatical. I made a few records that he wasn't involved in. And they're good records, and records I'm really proud of. But they're not LA Guns records. They're Phil Lewis records.
You're great.
The Phil Lewis LA Guns record, but no, this.
This might be a dumb question, but the Made in Milan album, I was just curious because I know Frontiers is your guys' label, and was that their idea? Because I know they put out Still Hard and Mr. Big in the same city.
It was a big 2-day event, and they record, and all the bands they have on their roster, they record, and so we were just part of the machine. We were sausage.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was that was part of the deal for our first record, for the Missing Piece. That was part of our contract, is that we had to play the festival and make a DVD, you know, from that thing, and that was cool, you know. Yeah. It was easy. Yeah. The travel wasn't, but the record was.
I'm glad we got to put speed on it. My only regret is we didn't put Flood. We didn't get more Missing Piece on it. But it was really in the early stages of the Missing Piece. So it was lucky we even got speed on it.
So 2019 would be the 30th of Cocked and Loaded. Is there any plans to celebrate that in any way, or just keep doing what you do?
I thought about it, you know, and if we didn't have a new record coming out in March, then we would. That's exactly what we do.
Any other band would be making a box set. They would. Any other band, cha-ching.
We got new shit to do.
Exactly. That's the difference.
That's the thing. We got shit to do, but we could realistically put it off for a year, the new record, you know, and release it. We could do a whole Cocked and Loaded, you know, thing, and people would like it. I don't know. But I doubt we'll do that.
Earlier this year, we had Jared James Nichols on. And I saw yesterday they got a post. It's like, what's your thoughts on him as being a young guy playing guitar?
Oh, man. He's like, and not to diss any guitar players, but he is the most authentic, you know, guitarist, vocalist in a rock format that's around. He doesn't try to put on some retro clothes and be somebody else. He's just Jared, you know, and he's one of the sweetest, giving, good-natured people, but he also doesn't take shit from people, you know, which is really shows in his authority on stage. You know, people relate to him really well when they've never seen him before, and you know, he connects. But if you fuck with him, he'll step on you. You know, he'll step on you. But no, man, no one as far as that real bona fide rock, you know, power trio. He's just the greatest, man. You know, and I mean, he's kind of my best friend too. But
he's an old soul trapped in a young man's body. He really, you know, I remember the 70s. I was a teenager in the 70s, and that's what rock stars used to be like. They used to look like that. They used to talk like that. That's how they acted. And it was just like, he's an echo of that.
Yeah. He's not playing with us on the 29th of December in Vegas.
Wink, wink.
Well, random question. What were your thoughts on Paul Rodgers when he fronted Queen? Did you get to hear that at all?
I didn't hear too much about it. I have the utmost faith in Paul Rodgers' ability. He's one of my biggest idols. Personally, I'm not sure he can do that sort of falsetto stuff, you know, the Freddie stuff. It was a weird choice. But, you know, the guys were hurting at that time, and they wanted a buddy. You know, they wanted somebody around them that they've always known and somebody that was sympathetic to the cause. And I get the choice, but I think what they have now is better.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Adam Lambert is he's fucking flamboyant, and that's what Freddie Mercury was, you know?
Yeah.
He's got the pipes, he delivers, he's got the personality, he's flamboyant.
Yeah.
Puts on that Queen show, you know? And Paul Rodgers is awesome, but that's Paul Rodgers. You know?
Yeah.
So any chance we might see another Devil City Angels album?
I don't know if we'd ever do an album, but I mean, I'd do a show here and there. Those are my friends, you know? It's just side project shit. You know, and Rikki gets bored when he's home, you know, because he's kind of at the mercy of Poison.
Right.
And he really likes to play. Oddly enough, imagine that. You know, and he hits me up every once in a while. Hey, you know, can we do 3 or 4 shows? I'm like, yeah, book him, let me know. No, he doesn't, but, you know. But yeah, I'd do that. That's probably the only thing I'd do outside of this. You know, unless I wanted to, might do like a power trio record or something around of just speed metal.
I wanted to do an instrumental.
Yeah, he wanted me to.
I want him to do an instrumental ambient, you know, because I'm really into this stuff. You know, you can find it on YouTube, and it's just like this guitar, psychedelic rock, and these things last for 2 hours. Have you heard them? Yeah. Like Space Vibes and stuff like that. Oh, you could do that. Honestly, you could do it on the fly.
I could do it on the fly.
Yeah, and it's just, I love it. I really do.
I always thought about having like a, what is it, a SoundCloud?
Yeah.
Count, just like every day. First thing after I have my coffee, just record something.
Yeah, I think you should, you know, just something instrumental be amazing.
It's just so weird. It goes just so against the values of selling music. It's like, oh, here.
Yeah, as I said, the things I've sent you, they've got 8 million.
No, I know, it's crazy.
So I don't know how that equates financially, but
equates to a big donut.
Well, yeah, I always pictured you as one of those guys that can easily do something like Generation X.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah. The thing with a performance of something like that is it'll be very boring for me. And if it's boring for me, then it's going to be boring for anybody watching.
Oh, no, you wouldn't perform that. That's just strictly, you know.
No, but what he's saying is
nude.
That I could do something like a Generation X thing where it's like
a
bunch of guys that are similar and do that stuff, but there's nobody singing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, God damn it! Somebody sing that fucking song.
It's kind of refreshing. That's what I like most about it. There's no bloody singing.
I could sit through a drummer play for 2 hours, but I could not sit through a guitar play.
Yeah. Sometimes they have voices and stuff in the back.
Well, I don't know. But, you know, the one thing people aren't touching on is the Music Act that just passed. That changes the way that royalties are delivered and changed digital format, streaming and stuff like that for the artists. It's an amazing thing. A lot of people don't know that artists that made records before 1976 didn't get royalties. Period. Before that, everybody was on salary from their label until they got dropped. So like Linda Ronstadt, the Eagles, anybody before 76, they blah, blah, blah. So the one great thing the government did this year was they passed that bill that is going to make a lot of homeless musicians not homeless anymore. Instead of getting their, $500 every 3 months, they're going to now get like $2,500. Really, some of those things are implemented in 2 years from now, but some things are in effect already. Some things are
Spotify and YouTube. That's no good to us. We're not making a dime off it.
But we are now.
Yeah, that's the difference.
But we are now. So, so there's good news for a lot of your jazzers and stuff like that. That generally the niche music kind of goes by the wayside because it's such a small audience and stuff. And they don't get paid, they get homeless, they get sick, nobody takes care of it. So that side of our business is getting a lot better. It's getting a lot more artist friendly. That's good news, yay!
Yeah.
Well, it's coming towards the end of the year. I mean, is there any records this year that blew you guys away? You've been listening to a lot that came out this year.
Well, Jared. I'm about to say Jared, but
Jared. I always go backwards. Every year I discover something.
You see, I'm all like 70s. I'm like Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. I had high hopes for Greta Van Fleet, but they turned into posers. I'm really disappointed. The fact that they wouldn't cop to their influences and stupid shit like that. It's just like, I get it. I know they don't want to be part of our generation. They want to start their own thing, but come on, it's just like they don't look like they're having fun. They don't look. There's nothing dangerous about them. Led Zeppelin that was a dangerous band.
They were dangerous.
LA Guns is a dangerous band.
I'm not worried about any of those guys trying to have sex with my girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just that's the difference.
No, that's right.
If Hendrix was around,
leave it with Jimi Hendrix.
There's some bands you feel like something's about to happen. I don't know what. And
that's not one of them. Definitely.
No, I mean, they're fun. People are having fun.
But that's the only band that's kind of like new bands sort of caught my attention. So
I'm still waiting for somebody like Jared James Nichols. Somebody that's just really honest and not have a preconceived idea of what they should be, And not that we didn't. I mean, we came out and I wanted to be Motley Crue meets Ozzy. You have your influences, and we've always been real honest about it. As time goes on, you kind of grow into yourself. It takes a minute, But I'm not finding rock music like that in a long time.
Oh, it's so barren out there right now. You know what? I'm an old fella. I was a teenager in the 70s, and I swear to God, everybody knew how to play guitar. Right. Everybody knew it was putting a band together, or knew somebody that was putting a band together, or working with a band. It's everything revolved around music. Mm-hmm. Everything. And when I grew up, and I'm not saying that. Everyone's wrapped around their phone now.
Now everybody's.
I learned to play guitar.
Still a scene, but everybody's fucking around on computers. So.
Yeah, not learning anything. I'm always just old, miserable, grumpy old cunt, but, really, pick up a guitar, kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, it's like, if you put Kanye on stage with Jared.
Oh my God.
Who's going to play the music?
God,
you know what I mean? So that's the test.
Yeah.
Who's going to entertain the audience with an instrument?
Put him in the water bottle suit he went on TV.
Was that really fucking the point? Where you didn't see the Saturday Night Live? When
he dressed up as a
fucking Perrier.
Fiji water.
Yeah, Fiji water. It's
bottle.
The shtick is there are two bottles on a secretary's desk in an office. It became so ridiculous. And anybody that finds that entertaining, edgy, or remotely artistic, I do not want here.
Yeah, it's
I do not
sad.
want
it's sad.
in this venue.
I agree.
Because
it's sad.
I can't fathom that kind of stupidity.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I agree.
So kind of the reaction to that is the metal that we don't hear. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of great metal bands that are underground, that aren't like the stuff we hear on the radio, whatever's popular, that are really creative, but they're not songwriting.
Tracii likes this.
Well, that's old. That's old
stuff.
Yeah, that's old.
Last night, we just we were getting ready to go on stage.
He hates me right now.
I don't hate it. I'm working my way.
Well, the vocals, because it's more of an instrument in black metal.
Yeah.
The vocal's an instrument. It's not like singing.
I don't hate it. I just hope you don't want me to do that.
No. No, I'm intrigued by black metal because of Varg, the guy that killed.
Oh, yeah.
So like that, I'm really intrigued with why it exists. What's its origins? What's happening? Where are those people today? It's an incredibly intense time in the early 90s for metal, when that was going on, and how it influenced younger heavy metal musicians directly following the church burnings and the murder and the homophobia, so much stuff that's kind of wrapped up in black metal, and it really starts with the belief system that Christianity came and wiped out the Nordic values. You know what I mean? So that's like really what black metal is, or what it's intended to be. That's the message it's intended to be.
Yeah.
Obviously Varg took it, and he's still fucking proud of it, which really pisses. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? But the music, get away from that. The music is just like Randy Rhoads times 10. It's just like wow, these guys are so good. The drummers are so good. The guitarists are so good. They don't give a fuck about production. They don't give a fuck about arrangement. It's all a feeling. It's all a feeling, and it's all. The odd thing is too, I mapped out tempos for a lot of that stuff, and even though it sounds like it's going a million miles an hour, it's still like 110, 120 beats per minute. It's just like double time.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like really still appealing music. People don't realize that it's right at the heartbeat. Thing. But yeah, so I'm just kind of obsessed with that genre right now. But I'm not going to check. No.
Have you heard of Zeal Ardor? Yeah, you got to look this up. It's just their new album came out. I think it's one guy.
Yeah, that's true. That would be true black metal. One guy.
Yeah.
This guy takes old Negro spirituals and mixes them with black metal choruses.
I'd like to hear that.
So it doesn't even sound like black metal. Except
that's intriguing.
It's insane.
That's interesting fusion right there. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, what's it called?
Zeal and Ardor.
Zeal and Ardor.
Yeah.
Zeal and Ardor.
Zeal and Ardor. Yeah.
Scotty, whatever you call Zeal and Ardor.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, it's really, you think you know what you like, and you don't really know what you like until you hear something. And it's always been that way since you were a kid. It's like when I liked Van Halen, I just automatically thought I was going to like all the stuff. I went about records. And I don't like this stuff at all. But I like this, here and there. But every so often, man, something pops up. It's been rare the last 20 years. Oh, that's killer. Turbo Negro to me is still the greatest rock and roll band of all time.
Yeah.
They got just enough Rolling Stones and just enough energy and just enough humor and just, if they tried in the U.S., they would be huge. They just don't try over there. I don't care. But yeah, I really like that band. They came out the same year we did, basically. I think they came out in 89. So a couple years after us. They're the same age. That would be my favorite modern rock band for sure. Yeah. Danzig's first record is great.
Right on, guys. Well, we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Tell us a little bit about what your podcast is about.
We've done like 200 episodes, and we just every episode is us talking about a few different topics in the hard rock or metal. And,
right.
We've had a lot of guys on, Jared James Nichols, we've had him on.
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons. Yeah, so.
Chris Broderick.
It's interesting to see everybody's different. Everybody kind of has a little bit different perspective on things. You know what I mean?
So, and you plug yourselves right now to me. How do I find you guys? What is it?
I'll give you a business card.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
But we're on pretty much everywhere you can find
Okay.
podcasts except Spotify.
Well, we thank you so much for your support.
Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah,
it. And you got us on a good night. You know, this is the last night of the tour.
Nice.
And we're in great spirits, and we got this great record under our belt, and of course the missing piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a very positive thing.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
There you go. Tracii Guns and Phil Lewis of LA Guns. Big thank you to Doug Burgess
Definitely.
for helping us out with that one. And of course, a big thank you to Scotty Ludwig as well. And of course, a huge thank you to Phil Lewis and Tracii Guns themselves for sitting down with us that was a good 30, we're back there for over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's longer than you get a lot of times with touring musicians. So
No kidding. And they were badass too.
Yeah.
You know, they were super fucking cool. I think we could have went on for another 30 minutes with Tracii just talking about different bands or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were just, you know, they're great. So it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. We got to throw in some Zeal and Ardor.
Yes. I know you liked that. I know you got off on that one.
Yeah. Which you'll hear more about next week as well.
Of course.
I'm like, why didn't Jason bring up Brides of Destruction while we're talking to Tracii Guns?
Because that's not what they're doing now.
I know.
You know?
But it's only 17 years ago or whatever.
Jesus.
Which I really like that.
Well, yeah, that's cool.
I'm just saying that.
Well, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I threw in the Devil City Angels question.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
For our buddy Kevin Williams, because he mentioned that when I was talking to him beforehand. He's like,
Nice.
I really like that album. I wonder if they'll ever do another one. So there you go.
Yeah.
That was for Kevin.
You got the answer now.
Yeah. The answer is no. Anyway, if you're listening to this for the first time because you're a fan of LA Guns, we definitely appreciate it. And if you're a fan of that era of music, we've had on quite a few people.
Oh, you're in luck.
You are. Dating way back, the first guy from this genre of music we had on was Joey Allen of Warrant.
Yes, and then I think we went to Ian Hogland of Europe.
That's right.
Okay.
And since then, in no particular order, Bill Leverty of Firehouse, Mark Gus Scott of Trickster. We've had on
Mark Kendall.
That's right.
Twice from Great White.
That is right. Frank Hannon of Tesla. We've had on Chris Green of Taiketo.
Mark Torian from Bullet Boys.
Yeah. Who else am I missing? Lillian Axe, Steve Blaze.
That's right.
The mightily underrated Steve Blaze.
Yes, that was a good one.
I'm sure there's some more. But we've also had on...
Gotta be.
Yeah, we've also had on guys from Seven Dust, Kiss, Shinedown, Death Angel, Overkill, Megadeth. 2 different people.
That's right.
One of them being Dave Ellison. We've also had on a plethora of other people. So just dig through there. It's all on SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. You can find us on YouTube at The Thunder Underground. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like, subscribe, whatever it is. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, Mixcloud, on all those things as well. Like it, subscribe, share, whatever it allows you to do on said platform. You can get on patreon.com, type in Thunder Underground, follow us there by becoming a patron.
That would be really cool.
That would.
I think y'all should go do that.
Then Jason can use the money to go to Nashville for New Year's Eve.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know, I wouldn't do that though. I would put it back into the show.
Oh, okay, good deal.
Okay, but I'm going to Nashville on New Year's Eve, so.
We'll talk about that decidedly non-hard rock
Yes.
topic once you get back, because
that's
it's
right.
great regardless.
Oh, it totally is. Totally is. Maybe I'll bring back some a few souls of failed musicians and some mandolin strings.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we've got Digester from Ghoul coming up.
Yes, that was Austin though, but still, it's awesome.
Same thing. The Digester of Ghoul will be coming up in the coming weeks, as will, like we mentioned, Junkyard. We had on 3 of them members of that band. We'll also have an episode with Clint, one half of Metal Up Your Podcast. We've got an episode coming with Trevor, the lead singer for the Black Dahlia Murder. And then we've got 3 of the members of Child Bite, or 2 members of Child Bite and a fill-in member of Child Bite.
Didn't you just say Child Bite a minute ago?
Did I?
I think you did.
well, they're coming up. Now you know it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can't miss it now.
Yeah. But yeah, so be on the lookout for all that stuff. Like I said, follow us. You won't miss anything. All right. I guess it's time to get out of here. Till next time.
So what kind did you get there?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
So,
There's like a billion different.
He's already asked me. Yeah.
We don't even know what they are. They've got like fucking weird.
Oh, these are throw-up donuts, Scott.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Those
Yeah,
are my
these are
favorite.
throw-up donuts.
Yeah, vomit
Oh,
flavor.
look at that.
Thunder Underground, y'all.